Boris Johnson's government is now under intense pressure on three fronts. The new variant of coronavirus is spreading rapidly. Dozens of countries have banned travel from the UK, and Britain is still set to leave the EU at the end of the transition period without a deal in 11 days' time. Now, during the day, more than 40 countries banned flights from the UK, or they imposed greater restrictions. And a French ban on some freight lorries is due to last 48 hours, leading to long queues on the roads of Kent to the port of Dover. But the government points out that most freight is getting through, although what's called accompanied freight through Dover, that's about a fifth of the total, is being interrupted. So far, retailers say their stocks are sufficient, and talks to find a solution are continuing, as our political editor Laura Kuenssberg reports now.
You shall not pass. Travel's blocked. Instead of trucks flowing stuffed with Christmas parcels and supplies, the motorway's a car park with truckers stuck.
This is my home, my bed.
Gordon's cab will be his bedroom, living room and kitchen for the next couple of days.
What do? Just have to sit it out, hopefully. They get their act together and let us go home.
Colin got stuck at Dover, but has now made it back to the depot.
So I'll be able to get home for Christmas. But a lot of these people that are sitting on the M20 are not going to get home for Christmas.
The French border closed late last night. Dozens of other countries are telling Brits to stay at home.
Should Parliament be recalled?
And ministers here are grappling with a new variant of the coronavirus that's hitting our health, our businesses and trade with the outside world. Emergency meetings have been taking place all day.
I want to stress that we in the UK fully understand the anxieties of our friends about COVID, their anxieties about the new variant. But it's also true that we believe the risks of transmission by a solitary driver sitting alone in the cab are really very low.
How confident can you be tonight that you can get the delays and disruption under control? And you said you just spoke to Emmanuel Macron. Did he give you any commitment on when he would open the border?
Yes, it was an excellent conversation with the French president. He stressed he was keen, I would say, to sort it out in the next few hours if we can, and our teams will be working on it flat out.
But the high risk at home is increasingly clear.
I think it is likely that this will grow in numbers of the variant across the country. And I think it's likely, therefore, that measures need to be increased in some places in due course, not reduced.
France, Spain, Denmark, the Czech Republic and dozens of others have banned UK travellers. But a decision from President Macron about opening the border for freight may not come till lunchtime, although late-night conversations have been taking place. From isolation, Macron told his cabinet a problematic mutation of the virus in the UK meant exceptional measures were needed to control the border. The longer the ban goes on, the more damage and disruption it does. The government spent months rehearsing for this kind of emergency, but not because of the pandemic, but because of what might happen with Brexit.
Location of that.
A border control centre had already been set up to manage the possible chaos, because in 10 days' time, how we trade with the rest of the continent will change dramatically anyway. But just because officials have practised in theory doesn't make the practice any less painful.
This is now a real emergency. We can have no more over-promising and false hope, no more confused messages and slow decision-making. We need strong, clear and decisive leadership.
The disease is accelerating aggressively, and even though it only affects a small proportion of freight, other countries' reaction to that is creating disruption. And before too long, more of the country could be under even tighter restrictions. Even despite the turbulent times we've all become accustomed to, tonight the government is grappling with a crisis on many fronts. Finding a way round is not straightforward. As the disease tightens its grip and the very end of the year approaches, political and practical problems now collide. Laura Kuenssberg, BBC News.
Well, Highways England has confirmed tonight that more than 900 lorries are currently parked up on the M20 waiting to get into the port of Dover. There have been talks between the UK and France today, and they discussed the possibility of testing lorry drivers and travellers crossing the Channel from Britain. But no decisions are expected until around tomorrow lunchtime. Currently, no lorries, vans or passengers are being allowed to sail from Dover. Eurostar rail services have also been suspended and flights have been stopped. From Dover, our transport correspondent Caroline Davies sent this report.
Frustration, confusion, anger. Not everyone at Dover this morning had heard that lorries from the UK were not allowed to cross into France. He wasn't the only angry driver. Arrest arrived in his van last night.
I have a ticket at 11 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, French say close. There's not 1 day, 2 days ago say close tomorrow. 11 o'clock say I coming quickly now. It's not make very good.
For days now, we've seen queues of lorries stretching back from Dover as businesses prepare both for Christmas but also for the end of the transition period. But just take a look at Dover this morning, completely empty. The Port of Dover usually handles 9,000 lorries a day. While goods are allowed in from France, that number has been substantially reduced today.
It's a pretty significant event, yes. So we would certainly be encouraging governments on both sides of the channel to do what it takes to allow these guys to get moving again. If this goes on for a period of time, this will have an economic impact on both sides of the channel.
While the port stayed closed, many waited. Devine was heading home to France with his sister.
I'm coming here 2 o'clock in the night. 2 o'clock, I'm here 40 hours here.
Where did you sleep?
But in the van.
One car park in Dover began to fill up. Well, Dover's just a 2-minute drive over that way, but here is where many people have parked up. Now, I've spoken to people who had to spend the night here in their cars and their vans, and you can see there are registration plates from across the EU. Ignace isn't a commercial driver. He's just trying to get home to his family in Lithuania for Christmas.
Yeah, my kids waiting for the Christmas presents, and I'm stuck here in the UK.
But for now, Ignace is stranded in a car park.
Hopefully, government will fix that situation. Hopefully, we will wait. We can wait a little bit, but not too much. Christmas is coming.
Overnight, part of the motorway down to the coast will be closed as Operation Brock, a new road layout, is deployed to keep traffic flowing. In drizzly and mist-covered Dover, many would like to know when the way ahead will be clear. Caroline Davies, BBC News.
Now, British supermarkets have been quick to try to assure customers that they have enough food in stock for Christmas, although Sainsbury's has warned that there could be shortages of some fresh produce afterwards if freight routes between France and the UK are not quickly reopened. The British Retail Consortium says any prolonged border closure will be a problem in the 10 days before the UK ends its transition period with the EU. Our business editor Simon Jack has more details.
Scottish seafood, one of the crown jewels of UK exports, highly prized, highly perishable, which makes any delays at the ports very bad for businesses like this Aberdeen-based exporter.
Today I had to phone the customer early this morning to say he wasn't going to get the product. Therefore, he didn't place another order for goods today. So I was unable to buy on the market today to supply my customer tomorrow. So it has a rolling effect.
The UK exports £15 billion worth of food and drink to the EU annually, a third of which is perishable meat, fish and fresh produce. We import £35 billion worth, again the majority of which has a short shelf life, so is vulnerable to delay. So does this mean we are facing food shortages? Today, Sainsbury's said that while we have all the food we need for Christmas, if nothing changes, we will start to see gaps over the coming days on lettuce, some salad leaves, cauliflowers, broccoli and citrus fruit, all of which are imported from the continent at this time of year. However, retail groups reassured shoppers that the UK larder is full.
Well, we shouldn't be worried because at this time of year, supermarkets are as well stocked as they are at any other point in the year. So if there is ongoing disruption, that will have an impact on limited availability and shelf life. But focused very specifically on fresh food. Everything that we need for our Christmas dinner is sourced from this country, and retailers have got plenty of stock in their warehouses.
However, this wholesaler supplies 80,000 food businesses. 30% of their products are from the EU. Mushtaq Ahmed said the timing was terrible.
Timing could not be any worse than this. While we were just about getting ready for the 31st of December Brexit preparation, and also with the recent Tier 4 lockdown situation within London area, suddenly a port closure for 48 hours didn't help the situation at all. It takes everything out of proportion. All the preparation, all the measures we put in place has been seriously shaken, and this is an extra headache to deal with.
There are long delays.
While some may find this has disrupted their Brexit preparations, sources close to the government tonight told the BBC it could be seen in some ways as a dress rehearsal for potential disruption in 10 days' time. Simon Jack, BBC News.